I'd like to call this April meeting of Louisa County Planning Commission to order. Ms. Johnson, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Barlow? Here. Mr. Hicks?
Here.
Mr. Painting?
Here.
Mr. Dissensway?
Here.
Mr. Dickerson?
Here.
Mr. Quarles? Mr. Goodwin?
Here.
Mr. Kersey?
Here.
Ms. Michael?
Let's give Ms. Michael a moment.
Got the wrong nameplate here.
It's all right. It's okay. Please rise now while we have the invocation led by Commissioner Dickerson, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Painting.
Let us pray. Father God, thank you for Louisa County. Thank you for those who came before us, who established and perpetuated the county. Thank you for each and every one gathered here tonight to work on issues for the county. Help us to work hard together with the wisdom of King Solomon, that we may leave Louisa County better than we found it for future generations to enjoy. In Jesus' most holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very well, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. The agenda is before you. Do we have a motion to approve as presented?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
And a second?
I second.
Moved and seconded to approve as presented. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I have one item.
Mr. Dickerson.
I move we amend the agenda to have a closed session immediately following the approval of the agenda.
Motion to amend the agenda. Is there a second?
I second.
Very well. Any further discussion? Then, Ms. Johnson, can we have a vote, please?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Painting?
Yes.
Mr. Dissensway?
Section of the closed section?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Kersey?
Yes.
Very well.
Mr. Goodwin? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson.
I move that we convene in closed session pursuant to the following subsection of Virginia Code 2.2-3711 in accordance with 2.2-3711A8, consultation with legal counsel employed or retained by a public body regarding specific legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by such counsel.
We have a motion to go into closed session. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that? Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Painting?
Yes.
Mr. Dissensway?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Kersey?
Yes.
Very well. We're going to poll members to certify that to the best of your knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted from the open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and is identified in the motion for which the closed meeting was convened were discussed and considered by the commission. If any member believes that the commission varied from the purposes stated for the closed meeting, please state so and the reason prior to casting a vote. If you agree, the responses I certify. Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
I certify.
Mr. Painting?
I certify.
Mr. Disisway?
I certify.
Mr. Dickerson?
I certify.
Mr. Cross?
I certify.
Mr. Goodwin?
I certify.
Mr. Kersey?
I certify.
Very well.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Dickerson?
I move we remove public hearing number 5 from the agenda tonight.
We have a motion to remove public hearing number 5, proposed amendment to ordinance 2023-06 from the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Very well, Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Painting?
Yes.
Mr. Disisway?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Ms. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
No.
Mr. Kersey?
No.
Very well, motion carries. All right, we'll move on to the approval of the Planning Commission minutes from the March meeting found on pages 2 through 8 of the meeting packet. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Are there any comments on the minutes as presented? Very well. Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Painting?
Yes.
Mr. Disisway?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Kersey?
Yes.
Very well. Next item up is consent agenda. We do not have a consent agenda for the April meeting, so we'll move on to public address. Public address is a period of time when any member of the audience can come forward and speak to the Planning Commission on any item that is not a public hearing tonight. And I would just comment that since item 5 on the public hearing, which is to remove assemblage of acreages in the technology overlay district, has been removed from the agenda, if you came to speak on that, now would be the time that you would speak. When I open the public address period, you'll have 3 minutes to speak. When you come forward, please state your name and your voting district. Public address period is open. I don't have any cards specific to that. So if anyone would like to address the Planning Commission, please come forward. Very well. Very well then, with no one wishing to come forward, I'm going to close the public address period. Public address period is closed. We'll move on to unfinished business, which is an update on zoning methods to help reduce growth impacts. Mr. Kuhn.
Yes. Good evening, Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. Met with the work group, which was Mr. Goodwin as well as Mr. Hicks. On this, we have some proposed amendments. I will be able to email you all, but we did have a little bit of issues. If you all have not, we do need to schedule some time with IT to go through with the dual authentication. So if you guys have not been able to get your emails, that's going to be why. I know we have at least one that needs to schedule a meeting, but I will get everything finished and I plan to email you guys the working documents and the papers. And I mean, I think we had a pretty productive meeting and we should have something to you all pretty shortly.
Any questions for Mr. Kuhn? Very well, thank you, Mr. Kuhn. Next item up is public hearings. First public hearing, amendment to Chapter 86, proposed addition, Gold Mine AFD. Ms. Brakeville.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the Planning Commission. The first, as he said, is an amendment to the Gold Mine Creek Agriculture and Forestal District. We had an original application and an amended application, so we'll start with the original. The landowners are Joseph and Carol Coleman, Dustin and Courtney Madison, Colby and Courtney Horn. There are 4 parcels totaling 396.106 acres. The proposed district addition is located a tenth of a mile from the core of the Gold Mine Agriculture and Forestal District. The parcels are located south of Route 621, north of Route 613 in the Mineral Voting District. This area of the county is low-density residential in the Lake Anna growth area. The uses are pasture, timber, and crops. The amended application was submitted within 30 days, as is allowed by state code. The landowners are James and Michelle Walsh. It is one parcel of 6.13 acres. It is within 1 mile of the core. The parcel is located south of Route 621 along Jane Lane in the Mineral Voting District. It is also low-density residential in the Lake Anna growth area. Uses are firewood for farm use. I believe there are 2 applicants here tonight to speak on behalf of this application.
Very well. Any questions for staff at this time? All right, then, I'm going to open the public hearing. Public hearing is open. Applicant is the first speaker, so I'd ask the applicant to come forward. You'll have 10 minutes to address the Planning Commission on this.
All right, Dustin Madison, obviously an applicant. I also sit on the Ag and Forestal District Committee. Would just tell you before I say anything about our particular proposal is, if our goal is to keep this county rural, the AFDs are the easiest way to do it. They don't cost anything to the county. It's all voluntary, and it gives us, as a county, it gives us a term of certainty, and we know what's going on with those parcels for that amount of time. And for staff and for you guys who have to make decisions going forward, certainty is not something you always get, so that would be invaluable. Now, as far as our proposal for the Gold Mine District, Ag and Forestal District, it's several hundred acres that is pretty much all been part owned and operated by a farming family in this county for at least 4 generations. Some people may say 5. I can't really prove that, so I won't say it yet. But this isn't just a spur of the moment. We decided we're going to be farmers and have some timber. We've been here long before there was a lake, long before we started talking about third fastest growing county in the state. That this is what we do, and this is what we've always done. I think there might have been some excitedness about some of these parcels being part of the growth area at Lake Anna. And I get that, and that's all good and fine, but we were farming this land long before there was a growth area. We were farming it long before there was a Lake Anna. Those things don't really come into our calculus when we talk about what we want to do with land. Maybe it does for other folks, but that's just not how we look at it. We're surrounded, except for one of the oldest subdivisions on the lake, we're surrounded on 3 sides by the rest of the Gold Mine Creek Ag Forestal District, farmland that again has been farmed for generations. So I think if you're talking about what is an AFD, what's it for, and what should we use it for, this is it. There is no better answer to that question. This is a perfect example of why we have this in the state. So that's all I've got.
Thank you. All right, I have several cards on this. First is up Jim Riddell.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, good evening, and thank you all for your long-term service, volunteer service for this county. And I'm going to speak to this issue, but I'm actually speaking for all 4 of these, all 3 of these applicants that are coming up tonight. I'm Jim Riddell, Mineral District, but here tonight representing the Louisa Ag and Forestal and Rural Preservation Committee. You know, our beloved Louisa County is experiencing rapid growth, with recent estimates putting us among the fastest growing jurisdictions in Virginia. While growth brings new opportunities, it also presents significant challenges to our ag heritage and our natural landscapes. This rapid expansion is leading to the conversion of valuable farmland and forest land. From 2020 to 2025 in Louisa, we've seen approximately 6,000 acres of working lands converted. Increased population density,
now at an average in the county of 80 people per square mile. It's fragmenting commercial farm and forest areas. This is making it very hard to timber and farm businesses to operate efficiently. You know, the Department of Forestry says at 70 people per square mile, lands have only a 1 in 4 chance of future timber management. These trends, coupled with other non-ag development, rising taxes, and below break-even commodity prices and values, especially in crops and timber, are putting immense pressure on our local farms and forests. Future growth will continue to strain our vital resources like water, food, energy, as well as public services. But however, by conserving and protecting our working farm and forest lands, we can actually help slow the rate of escalating costs and taxes needed for local government, as these lands require few community services. I'm sure you've noticed from our comp plan survey, close to 90% of the citizens responding want to protect their farms and their forests. Louisa County's current comp plan is built on 3 core themes: conserve and protect and preserve the county's rural character and way of life, smart growth management, and protecting established communities. The Ag and Forestry District's applications you have here tonight before you are from citizens, taxpayers, family farms, and forest lands. These legacy family properties represent some of the farm timber families, as Dustin said, going back generations. Land used for crops, cattle, forage production, timber, pulpwood, and other operations, they're not undeveloped land. These are working farms, and they're central to rural character of Virginia. These families are voluntarily pledging to keep their lands as they are, open and in working forests and farms for 10 years. What a great gift to the community. Our farms and forest lands, as Dustin said, do not cost our county. And as you know, for every $1 collected by our county in taxes from residential lands, the county spends about $1.60 for every $1. Our farms and forest lands, what do you think they cost? Well, for every $1, the county spends about 30 cents. It's a heck of a deal. The Ag and Forestry Committee studied and reviewed the applications, and we recommend all parcels proposed be approved. You know, the purpose of Ag and Forestry Districts is a mutual undertaking to voluntarily conserve, protect, and encourage the development and improvement of ag and forestry lands as valued, and here's the key, as valued natural and ecological resources. It's not about zoning, it's not about commodities, it's about natural and ecological resources that we have in the county. They provide open space, watershed protection, wildlife habitat, of course, as well as food and fiber. This program is all about natural resources for the future generations. And we're going to need those resources, ladies and gentlemen, more than ever. Again, the Ag and Forestry Committee, which is comprised of 10 local Louisa citizens, recommends approval of all parcels and all applications here. I'm glad to answer any questions you might have. Again, thank you very much for your service here to Louisa County.
Thank you, Mr. Riddell. Next up, I have a card for Colby Horn.
Hi, I'm Colby Horn, Mineral District. Dustin and Jim already said a lot of what I wanted to say, and they said it better than I can, but still feel obligated to speak as part of our application. I grew up here in Louisa County. I graduated from Louisa County High School. I've watched how Louisa's changed a lot over the last 30 years. As we all know, it's been one of the fastest growing counties in Virginia. And with all that growth come plenty of advantages as well as lots of disadvantages. I'm here representing our application into the Mineral Ag Forestal District. I know on paper we're in a designated growth area, but to us that's just a line drawn on the map where people who live here, it's our home, our land, it's our way of rural life. Many of us near the lake feel like we've carried a lot of the county's growth over the last several years, and to be honest, we're a little bit tired of all the growth. We're starting to lose what makes Louisa County feel special. We're losing our rural character, our farmlands, our forests, the places that really make it feel like home to us. So joining the Mineral AFD is not about stopping progress. It's about protecting what we still have left. It's about making sure that in 10, 20, 30 years from now, Louisa County is still Louisa County and just not another place that it used to be rural. This is our step at preserving the rural character and protecting our farmland and forests for the future. Thank you for your time and consideration for our acceptance into the Mineral AFD, and thank you for your service to Louisa.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. Would anyone else like to come forward and speak on this public hearing? Very well. No one else wishing to come forward. The applicant, and in this case, the applicant I take to be Mr. Madison, who spoke first. You do have 5 minutes that you can address anything you heard during the public comment period. So if you wish to come forward for 5 more minutes, otherwise you don't have to, it's okay. But you, very well, all right, then the public hearing is closed and we'll come back to the commission.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Goodwin.
I've got a question for Ms. Breakville, please.
Yes.
This is a spread-out district, and it appears to be contiguous, but there is one little break in there. Just out of curiosity, what is the core of this district? Where is it?
So because it is so spread out, there are multiple original 200 pieces. I would have to go back and look at what the original core was, but I believe when it was added as those multiple pieces. So any of the 200 acre parcels could be one of the cores.
Okay. Mr. Chair, follow up.
Good.
The reason I ask that, and it's obviously, it's not critical in this one, but we'll have applications that say that they're within a mile of the core.
Yes.
And I am not aware that it can have more than one core. So if in the future, when we submit these maps, could we please indicate on there which is the core parcel?
Yes.
That would be good, because then it becomes pretty clear whether it's within a mile or whatever of the core parcel.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Dickerson?
I think it's great to see these landowners, the Ag Forestry Committee, staff working together to get more land added into ag forestal districts. So I would wholeheartedly support this.
Very good. All right. Well, hearing nothing else, I'm going to turn this over to you.
So we're looking for a motion.
Mr. Vice Chairman, I would like to make a motion to recommend approval of the amendment to the Gold Mine Creek Agriculture and Forestal District to include these properties listed.
Very good. We have a second.
I second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Johnson, will you have a roll call vote for us?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Paisley?
Yes.
Mr. Dissington?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Percy?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Very good. All right, moving on to the next public hearing. This is for the addition to the Ellisville Ag and Forestal District. Ms. Breakville.
Yes, so I will start, Mr. Rydell already said, but this is the Ellisville Agricultural and Forestal District. It was recommended by the Ag Committee. So there was an original application as well as an amended application, and I believe there is a landowner here to speak. So the original application was landowners Joseph and Carol Coleman, Carl and Jean Coleman, Bird Coleman, Yvonne and Dean Perry, Sonny Agee, and Martin and Sally Agee. There are 9 parcels equaling 550.821 acres within 1 mile of the Ellisville district. The proposed district includes two separate parcels. The first set is located 0.76 miles from the southern portion of the core of the Ellisville Ag Forestal District. The parcels are located north of Highway 33, east of Route 693, north of Jacoby Road. The second set of parcels adjoins the northern portion of the core. These parcels are located south-southeast of Route 613, west of Route 669, and north of Route 742. They are in the Louisa voting district and are considered rural area. The uses are livestock, commercial timber, ornamental trees and crops. The amended application, which was submitted within 30 days, as is required by the statute, was submitted by landowners JJP Land and Lumber LLC, the JJP Timber Trust, Robert Carr, Helen and John Gerald Purcell III, and Ridgecrest Farms LLC. There are 23 parcels totaling 1,496.576 acres. They are within 1 mile or adjoined. Or are agriculturally significant. The proposed district addition is located north of Route 22, west of Route 669, east of Route 693, and south of Route 613. The proposed district addition is adjacent to, again, or located within 1 mile in the Louisa voting district. It is designated rural area or low-density residential and mixed use within the Louisa growth area. The uses on the property are commercial timber, firewood for farm use, forages, hay, pasture, crops, crop production, livestock, including sheep, goats, cattle, and poultry.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Breakville at this time? All right, then I'm going to open the public address period for this. And public address period is open. Again, I'd like to ask the applicant to present this. And we have multiple applicants here, so I'm looking for one representative of the applicants to do this, so we keep this straight here. So you'll have 10 minutes to present.
I'll try not to take that amount of time. I lost the lottery draw, so. My name is Gerald Purcell, engineer, farmer, Louisa County Voting District. So good evening, Mr. Chairman and the board. I won't repeat the remarks I made previously to the Board of Supervisors where I discussed how ag and forestry lands are actively stewarded over long time horizons and are often mischaracterized as undeveloped, frustratingly to me. I will simply reiterate that these lands are, in fact, worked and managed, and I appreciate the county's continued and growing emphasis on recognizing their contribution in maintaining the rural character of our county. With that context, I think I need to comment on some of the parcels that I put in the application or that I manage that are in the application under this public hearing number 2. All these parcels are part of a larger contiguous landmass that's actively managed for timber, forage, agriculture purposes, cattle, et cetera, for decades, and their inclusion reflects their actual ongoing use, and that supports their continuation for that use. While most of the parcels are zoned, as you would expect, A1 and A2, there are 4 that are non-agriculturally zoned and look somewhat squirrely on the application, and I figured that probably raised some eyebrows of what's that about. So I thought I'd better provide a little additional context on those 4 items here today. 2 of the parcels do carry R1 zoning. While they did contain small frame residences about 75 years ago, those structures are long gone, and the properties have been under timber management for more than 50 years. Today, they're managed as part of an approximately 155 acre block of hardwoods extending across adjacent and contiguous parcels, and they do not have direct access to state-maintained roads, nor do they have rights-of-way. So the timber is managed through logging trails through other parcels to exit. So they're not suitable for residential development despite their zoning characteristics. Another parcel includes a portion of it that is zoned R2. The last known residents on that property dated back to about 1880. They were the Omohundras. They're buried next to my machinery shed, resting peacefully. The R2 portion of the property does not have access to a location where VDOT would permit entranceways to put into the state road because the topography, the turn in the road, the visibility, et cetera. So this property is no longer in any practical residential capacity. The parcel is currently managed as mixed agricultural and forestry tract, including hardwood timber, forage, and crop production. The most unusual one on the application is there is a portion of tax parcel 4215 that you will see carries industrial zoning. The railway crossing that historically provided access was removed by CSX Transportation about a decade ago, leaving the property without viable vehicle access, never mind industrial access. No vehicle access. You can walk to it. If you have a nice motorbike, you can access it. Without access, it cannot be reasonably supporting any type of industrial use, so instead, it has been managed as part of a larger tract of mixed hardwood and loblolly pine production with internal access for that timber harvesting through adjoining land parcels of mine or other, I'll call them friendly entities. In each of these cases, the zoning designation does not reflect the actual on-ground use of the property. These are established, actively managed tracts, not transitional, not speculative properties. Including them in the Ag and Forest Aerial District aligns with the county designation with that reality and supports the preservation of large, contiguous working lands, something central to preserving our rural character. Since inclusion in the district is consistent with both their use and the county's stated priorities, I respectfully ask that the commission recognize that consistency and support those parcels along with all the others in this application which are zoned agricultural. That was the oddities I thought I needed to speak to. The rest of it's fairly straightforward.
Very good.
Is that okay?
Thank you. All right, I don't have any cards on this particular action, so if anyone would like to step forward and address the Planning Commission on this, please do so. Very good. And again, you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
All right, I'm still Dustin, same person who was here a minute ago. First of all, I just wanted to thank you for your action taken a few minutes ago. After that, when it comes to Mr. Purcell's comments, I spend a lot of time on GIS in this county and other counties for work, and it's very easy to get caught up in clicking on those parcels and seeing those zonings, whatever they may be. And that's great. When you don't really know the land, you don't get to see it, you don't walk on it, drive around it every day. Maybe those letters and designations mean a little bit more. But to his point, that's not the character of the land that he's describing. I've been on that land. Plenty of people have been on it. It's not residential land. It's not industrial land. Those are designations on a map. What we're here usually as the AFD committee is to evaluate a piece of land based on what it actually is, what you can touch and feel. And his point was it. It's forestry. I just think it's real important to point that out, that it just gets so easy to get caught up in what a map says when you're not actually on the ground. So I fully support Mr. Purcell's efforts to put this land into an AFD, and I would be wrong not to go ahead and plug the rest of the proposed addition because, again, it's fourth, maybe fifth generation farmland that I have planted corn on, baled hay on. That's all it really is. So thank you again.
Would anyone else like to address the Planning Commission? Very well, then, Mr. Purcell, if you have anything that you would like to come back and speak on, you have 5 minutes to close this out. If you're good, that's good. Very well, then we'll close the public address period and come back to the commission.
I see you looking at it, Mr. Chair.
I'm looking in whatever direction.
I've got a question for the applicant. Not sure which one, but if Mr. Purcell would address it, please. Please. I'd let you stay there, but they want you on record.
Okay.
Is there
Yes, sir.
any interest in rezoning the industrial or the 2 residential parcels that are in this block just to make it more consistent with the usage?
I think at this point, I'd be fine with that.
You would have to initiate it. It's not
Oh,
part
do
of
I?
tonight's action.
Yeah.
But
I'll talk with Maggie. I can find out what that
Yeah.
entails. I have no idea the process, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've never rezoned anything before, but I'll get the instructions.
yeah, I like to see zoning match the usage whenever we can. So if there's an interest in that and you're willing, I'd like to see it. Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well then, Mr. Kersey, the chair would be looking for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that these parcels be added to the Agricultural and Forest District.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Very well, Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Pansy?
Yes.
Mr. Dissington?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Quarles?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Percy?
Yes.
Very well, the motion passes. We move on now to item 3 on the agenda, the Taylor's Creek AFP edition. Ms. Brakeland, again.
This is in addition to Taylor's Creek Ag Forestal District. It was also recommended by the Ag Forestal Committee, so the landowners were not able to come tonight, but they are very excited about land preservation in Louisa. So the owners are Doug, Victoria, Seth, and Danielle Campbell, as well as Moby Jack LLC. There are 4 parcels totaling 79.87 acres with A2 zoning. They are 0.4 miles from the core of Taylor's Creek. The parcels are located along the east side of Route 635, north of 661 in the Jackson voting district. The production on the land is timber, livestock including cattle, horses, poultry, vegetables, and bees. That's all I have for you.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Brakeland? All right, we'll move on to public address then. Public address period is open. Do we have an applicant for this? Very well. Then we'll move on directly to public comment. Anyone who'd like to speak on this, please come forward. Very well. Seeing no one wishing to speak, public address period is closed, and we'll come back to the commission for comment. Comments?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Goodwin?
Ms. Brakefield, how far is these proposals from the core?
1 second. It is 0.4 of a mile. So 0.4 of a mile.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Very well. There are no further comments. Mr. Painting, Chair will be looking for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion that we add number 3. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
To Taylor Creek Ag Forest District.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to amend the Taylor's Creek Ag and Forestal District to add the parcels. Any further comments? Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Pansy?
Yes.
Mr. Dissington?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Quarles?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Percy?
Yes.
Very good. Motion passes. And we'll move on to item 4, which is CUP 2025-02, the Zion United Methodist Church.
Chairman and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Paige Baker, and I'm an associate planner with Louisa Community Development, and I have one item for your consideration this evening. Before you tonight is Conditional Use Permit 2026-02, a request for a farmer's market to be operated at Zion United Methodist Church in accordance with Section 86-154 and Section 86-359. The property is located at the intersection of Zion Road and Columbia Road and is made up of 5.68 acres, split zoned agricultural A2 and A2 in the Growth Area Overlay District. The property is within the Zion Crossroads Growth Area and is split low-density residential and mixed use on the 2040 Louisa County Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map. In terms of consistency with the Louisa County 2040 Comprehensive Plan, the Rural Values and Character Section 3.1.1 of the 2040 Plan states that agriculture is a vital part of the economy, and the guiding principles of the 2040 Plan states that there should be a focus on broadening the tax base by establishing businesses. The applicant's proposed farmers market would provide a venue for agriculture-based businesses that are vital to the economy of Louisa County. Additionally, the proposed farmers market use supports Goal 1 of the vision statement of the 2040 plan, which calls for the preservation and protection of our rural heritage and natural resources. Community development staff and the applicant believe the impact of the conditional use of a farmers market would be minimal to Louisa County public facilities. Further detail on this can be found in your packet on pages 175 and 176. Additionally, a neighborhood meeting was held on March 11th, which had no neighbors in attendance, and staff has not received any concerns regarding this zoning action. The Agricultural Development and Land Conservation Coordinator has provided their review of the conditional use permit, which can be found on packet page 174. Staff recommends 11 conditions listed on page 177 for the Planning Commission's consideration this evening. This concludes the presentation. The applicant is present to answer any questions you may have and give a brief presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Baker. Any questions for staff at this time? Very well, then we'll move on to the public address period. Public address period is open. We'll begin with the applicant. Pastor McWilliams, you'll have 10 minutes to speak.
All right, David McWilliams, Green Springs District. I don't anticipate any opposition to this, so I'm going to just kind of give a quick overview of it. This is the aerial view of the church. You can see a couple different layouts here that would make use of existing property. All of it is paved already for the church parking lot. You can go to the next slide. So farmers market, you can read the definition, but the emphasis here, especially with Zion, is trying to create a space in which people who are selling fresh vegetables, things that they make from their out of local items they make out of local produce, making it readily available to the local community and using our site to do it. So based on the amount of space we have, we anticipate that we could easily host 13 vendors. But more so than just being a market, we would also want to be a third space for community. Third space is the basic idea is a place in which community gathers outside of home and work. And so in addition to having the farmers market vendors, we want to have opportunities for food trucks to come in, make use of the church's 2 playgrounds, have some different entertainment like live music, have games for people to play, just kind of make use of the space so that instead of coming and walking through the vendors and then immediately leaving, hopefully people will stay, share lunch together, build a sense of community. There's your parking lot space again. You can go to the next one. Because of the fact that we want to encourage people to stay longer, we do have 46 parking spaces. Don't anticipate that being a problem. But in the event that there was an issue with influx of traffic, we helped kind of draw up this easy map that we could distribute to people so that they could take it takes like 5 minutes to make that loop, and hopefully by then we can have a parking space available to them. So trying to limit the amount of times that someone just drives around the neighborhood or pulls into someone's driveway. And couple of things that I'm sort of anticipating what neighbors, community might want to know. We're looking to operate solely on Saturdays, no earlier than 10 a.m., no later than 4 p.m. Applying for a year-round basis, not anticipating that there will always be a year-round farmers market, but in the event that there was special occasions, especially over the holiday seasons, that people wanted a chance to gather, having it available. Especially note that all of this is existing space. We don't need to do any construction or renovation. All of the facilities already exist, so don't really anticipate any disturbance to the neighborhood. The one condition that you might have noticed from staff was that there would be no music, we would like to propose that we amend it to be no amplified music. I certainly recognize that it is a growth district. We're in a space that we do have enough land that if acoustic music is played, I don't anticipate that any of our neighbors would hear it. I do understand that if you amplify an electric guitar, our neighbors will hear it, right? So trying to find that balance of how can we offer a place for people to gather, for things for people in the community to enjoy without being a burden to our immediate neighbors. So that would be the only condition we would request, that you'd consider saying no amplified outdoor music rather than just no outdoor music or no outdoor sound. And I think that's all I got for you. And I will just throw out there, because free audience, that if people are interested, if you have connections to people who sell local produce, we've been able to connect with a bunch of vendors who take their local produce and turn it into something. But especially in Virginia, I think maybe across the country, people can use their SNAP and EBT benefits at a farmer's market to buy fresh produce. So people who otherwise wouldn't have access to this sort of fresh produce get access to it through farmers markets. And so we're hoping to have several stands where people can make use of the local produce that they grow in Louisa County to sell to their neighbors. So if anyone knows anybody, love to have that connection. You can find us at zionfarmersmarket.com.
Thank you. All right, would anyone like to come forward and speak on this application? Very well, seeing no one, and recognizing that you probably don't need to come back and speak on nothing you've heard, we'll close the public address period. Public address period is closed, and bring it back to the commission for discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Dickerson.
one question for the applicant. So the staff had 11 recommendations. We have them on page 177 of our packet, and it does include no amplified outdoor music. So you're willing to accept and add in all 11 of those?
Oh, that would be different than the copy I saw. So that would be good. Number 6, no amplified outdoor music. And then I guess it's just the phrase, all music will be indoors. We would just want it to say all amplified, just for clarification.
Okay. Very good.
Mr. McWilliams, while you're up here, I had just a couple of items. Just for clarification, so there's a condition 9 on guiding procedures. It says the farmer's market will abide by the guiding procedures included within their application. So, and this, Ms. Baker, you may need to weigh in on this as well. Since this is a CUP and it goes with the land in perpetuity, how is it that we memorialize the guiding procedures in perpetuity so we know in the future, when this is sold 3 times, what the guiding procedures are for having a farmer's market here?
Chairman, members of the commission, it would be treated similar as a concept plan that we reference for solar projects and other things when when we post a conditional use permit application, we have it in our online land access database where the application and the approval letter. Our goal eventually is so when you click on a parcel, you will actually have access to that, not only just the zoning and the address, but there'll be a link hopefully in the coming months and years where anybody who happened to be operating this church could click on their parcel and find the approval letter and know that there would be a condition recommending that, and then going to the land access database or reaching out to a member of staff and asking for a copy of that application. We could, of course, also add to the approval letter as an enclosure that plan of operation.
That sounds like a more permanent method to me. I like what you're saying, except for the word hopefully. They used to tell us at the power plant, hope is not a strategy.
GIS and county staff are actively working on it, getting information onto the website.
All right, thank you on that one. Next item, just for clarification, I'm trying to work this out in my head. So, the discussion on several different pages, this would be on page 190, where we open the discussion and say when, Saturdays between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Then you move over to your guiding principles, which also says Saturdays 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. But then, let me get over here, on page 196, which is the CUP application, now we say third Saturday of each month from 11 to 1. So I'm just trying to get a little clarification on, you know, what is the proper day of the week that the guiding principles match the CUP permit application?
Per Mr. Dickerson's recommendation, the original application was for once a month, and Mr. Dickerson recommended that we apply for everything now so that we don't have to come back later. And so I think that's just an oversight on my editing. So the application would be for all Saturdays from 10 to 4.
All right, which leads me into the next item, which the guiding procedures talk about no earlier than 10, no later than 4. And this may just be how the thing develops, but on item, let's see, your CUP permit, item 2, vendor arrival and departure, vendors must arrive no later than 30 minutes prior to official opening, which is now 10:30, and they have to stay until 1:30. So I see where that makes sense with the 11 to 1 on that page, but on the previous pages, when you say 10 to 4, then it seems to me like the vendors, you don't want the vendors arriving 30 minutes after the thing opens at 10, so it's just a matter of getting the dates and the times clarified so they match throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I think I submitted that first document before I met with Mr. Dickerson and Ms. Jones, so I think that's where the lack of editing comes in. The proposed plan for the team leading it at this point is still to operate from 10:30 to 1:30 the first few months, but certainly want to make sure that we're applying to have a much wider scope than what we're looking to do just to get it introduced to the community.
Well, since your guiding principles are going to be a part of your conditional use permit, and they're going to be in perpetuity, if you need to change them, I believe you would probably have to come back and change the CUP. Then, if it's going to attach to the CUP as a condition, then I would ask that however you want to do it between now and when you move forward to the board, that you clarify your times so they all match throughout, and what we have is something that makes sense.
Will do.
So another item, just a question. So you're intending to operate year-round. Outdoor farmers market in late January, early February. It's just a curious concept to me. I'm not saying no one should do it. I'm just saying that's quite a concept.
It is. I mean, I don't anticipate it being a common thing, but I've seen crazier weather patterns in Virginia that put us at 70 degrees in the middle of February. So,
all right, and the last is just an observation on your overflow traffic relief plan. I don't see how in the world that's going to be workable, but if you hand out, well, first off, I'm not sure these days. I wouldn't want to take a 10-minute drive on $4.10 a gallon gas. Some other people might. You know, I didn't want to come in here tonight on $4.10 gas, but I'm stuck. So it's just an observation of that. And if you hand out numbers to people so that nobody jumps the line, when you hand out the first 5 numbers and guy number 2 says, I'm not going back, and you don't know it, how long are you going to wait for guy number 2 to come back with 3, 4, and 5 taking these circuits? It's just, and to me, I don't need
If you
an
take a
answer.
number, I'm expecting you to come back, but yeah, I mean, again, it's a loop that everyone's driving the same exact loop theoretically, so if number 3 shows up, it tells me that he either, passed somebody illegally or he,
Well,
or 2's not coming.
I don't need an answer to that. I'm just saying, to me, that looks like an unworkable thing, but, that's, however. And one item, Ms. Baker, for you. I understand the dumpsters are probably serviced regularly, but my guess is if you put commercial activity out there, you are going to increase the impact on solid waste. They may be serviced regularly, but they may have a whole lot more in them regularly as well. So I would think that there would be an increase, particularly if you're having food trucks and the like there, and you expect people to come, a community space, it's got to be an increase in solid waste one way or the other. So anyhow, those were all my comments.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Goodwin.
for the applicant, please. For me, it's not a holdup tonight, but it's a suggestion. We have any conditions that you are to have all licenses be in compliance with the Department of Health. Somewhere rewording that condition and working it into your vendor's, condition, application, the vendor has to take that liability on. Particularly if they're serving finished food or certain raw products like milk, cheeses, what have you, you can't get one permit to cover everybody to come in.
Correct.
If they are the vendor, they have to be aware. I would suggest somewhere in here, vendors must be aware of state law and have on person proper certificates from the Department of Health.
Yes,
Because
sir.
you won't be able to get one for everybody, not knowing who everybody is.
Right.
So it's just a suggestion for you to kind of clean that up. It will end up being a liability problem for you if we don't get it right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I love the idea. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Other comments? Mr. Dickerson?
Mr. Chairman, I move that conditional use permit 2025-02 be recommended for approval to the Board of Supervisors with one change in the staff recommendations to include all amplified music being indoors.
Second.
Moved and seconded. There were a few other comments that needed to be picked up as well. I would say the comment on how we memorialize the procedures and also the comment on the vendor.
The vendor licenses?
The vendor licenses,
So
yes.
then I would amend my motion to include the vendor licenses be added in and update the memorial license.
Very good. Any other comments?
Just that those changes are for the applicant's benefit. It helps them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Patsy?
Yes.
Mrs. Sway?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Quarles?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes?
Mr. Kersley?
Yes.
Very well. The motion is approved. And by the way, thank you, Ms. Baker. We recognize that's the first time you brought one to us, and we appreciate that. Very good. All right, so we'll move on next to new business. Mr. Kuhn.
All right, we got a couple things. The first, has the manufactured homes already been provided to them? So yes, General Assembly has now adopted a law that has been executed by the governor that manufactured homes are going to be by right and treated exactly the same as any other kind of home in the state of Virginia. That goes into effect July 1st. So staff will review our zoning ordinance and bring back any necessary changes to be in compliance with new state code. And we plan on trying to bring forward any other items that may come up that affect the zoning code, but this is the first one as of yet that we know of that has been adopted and signed. So we'll move forward with that one. What you also have before you is two different items. One is the comprehensive plan addendum, and another one is a electric transmission facility CUP permit. If there is no preference, I would like to go with the comp plan addendum first.
Please.
So, as you all are aware, Valley Link is a large transmission line that is planning on coming through a lot of localities and properties in Louisa County and really across the Commonwealth. With that, what staff has done in conjunction with the Board of Supervisors, meeting with additional counties, is looking at ways that we can best provide a fighting chance to get a project that is more I'm going to say amenable, for lack of a better term. And part of that is, of course, you have to abide by what the SEC rules are. With that, one of the things SEC is required by state code to review in any type of transmission line project is adherence with the locality's comprehensive plan. So what is before you is actually something that staff has worked up, and we have shared with all other localities that met in a regional group. This has been vetted by our own legal counsel as well as outside legal counsel, so this is reviewed and actionable information. We can go through it, but essentially what this does is prioritize establishing clear guidelines for siting electric transmission infrastructure, prioritizing the use of existing corridors and previously disturbed areas, avoid and minimize impacts to residential areas, agricultural operations, conservation easements, and natural resources to the greatest extent feasible, provide consistent framework for evaluating proposed transmission projects, as well as ensure alignment with the county's broader growth management plan and preservation strategies. As you can go through, one of the big items on here, I would say, is Section 4. We have avoidance and minimization of impacts. So we give, I'll just go over the overview for those in the audience. The items that we focused on is residential areas, and then we gave a list of reason transmission infrastructure should avoid routing through established residential areas, maximize distance from homes and community facilities, and minimize visual and noise impacts. Then we go to agricultural and forestry lands. We say transmission products should avoid bisecting large agricultural parcels, minimize fragmentation of working farms, maintain access to agricultural operations, be aligned along parcel boundaries or existing infrastructure where possible. Same premise, not to split or bifurcate any of these larger parcels. For C, we have the rural character and scenic resources. So we said transmission infrastructure should minimize visibility from scenic rural roadways, avoid ridge lines and prominent visual features where practicable, maintain the visual integrity of the rural landscape. And then we also have the environmental resources, conservation easements, and then historical and cultural resources, all of which are based on the local level, not just the state and federal level. We have in here that we request them evaluate alternatives and justify why new corridors are proposed instead of using existing corridors and increasing, what those corridors are. We have infrastructure and community impact. Transmission projects should minimize the impacts to public roadways and infrastructure. They should coordinate with VDOT and the county on access, construction, and restoration. There's undergrounding policy. In this, it says we would support undergrounding placement of transmission infrastructure where it's technically feasible, economically reasonable, and result in the reduction of impacts for the community environment. We say it's consistent with the county growth management strategy. This is, the broader goals is to direct growth into designated growth areas, preserve the rural character outside of the growth areas, protect agricultural and forestry lands from fragmentation, ensure infrastructure investments align with long-term land use planning. So with all this, I mean, the big portion that we said, you've got to play by SEC's rules because SEC is who they're filing through. So that's why when you get to the end, we've got the policy interpretation. This policy is intended to guide land use decisions and provide framework for evaluating transmission infrastructure proposals. It shall be interpreted in a manner consistent with applicable state and federal law and shall not supersede the authority of the Virginia State Corporation Commission, SEC, or other governing entities, because ultimately they're the ones that will be reviewing the projects. But like I said, with this item, staff is recommending that we move forward as quickly as possible. This has already been vetted by 2 attorneys. Happy for you all to review and provide any updates that you would like. But we would just have to probably run that through legal and outside counsel for the actionability of anything that is provided. But like I said, this is ready to go, so we would like a motion to advertise for public hearing as soon as possible, or as soon as feasible.
Very well. Do we have any comments?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Goodwin?
are we being too restrictive saying electric infrastructure? Are we concerned at all about gas? Other utilities transversing the county?
I think if we want to do that, it'd probably be advantageous to have its own section, just because there are different requirements. So I would probably want different sections, because if we just took this out and used utility infrastructure, the position wouldn't be as strong, I think, just because there's different methodologies to do different things. So I'd want to account for, if it was gas lines, I'd want to account for, there's compression stations and things like that we want to account for. So I would probably want different sections instead of one broad section to cover everything.
Well, I trust your judgment. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other comments?
One.
Mr. Hicks?
Thank you. Would it be beneficial to have size limitations of these electric transmission lines through here, or is size limitations not something we can obligate on a county level?
Yes, that is something that we discussed about trying to limit it to, we have, 500 plus KV lines running through the county already, but that's not something that the local government has in their purview I guess we could request it. It's just something that the SEC probably wouldn't take into consideration. Maybe they would, and the applicant would have to address why it's necessary, but with this, we feel we're in a pretty strong position that there's going to be several items that they're going to have to address with the SEC. And then even if this project does go through, this would also help for any project in the future that may, any transmission line that may come, that this would now be the guiding document that people would have to abide by to the best of their ability. So, it's something that we could try and add it if there's a preference, but I don't know. Because a lot of this has been about routing. So if it's, I could try and review it and see prior to the public hearing where we could fit that in.
Just the number of the public concerns in the past with the 765 and health concerns stepping up to, looking at larger lines and seeing if we can limit that from the get-go. So it's come up a lot in our public sessions.
Like I said, I will review it and I'll try and add somewhere where the preference, a lot of this is what we prefer.
Yeah.
And then the SEC would end up reviewing it and, take it under advisement, but they would still make the decision. But I don't see why we couldn't say our preference would be capped at a certain, KV.
What we have existing in the county now is 5 something.
500.
500. So we have experience dealing with 500, and our preference would be to keep it there. I could try and include that.
I would just say, just to address that, if somebody comes across your land proposing a 500 kV line, you're probably not going to be any happier than those of us who are proposing a 765 kV line coming across. So even if they propose a 115 or 69 kV line, I don't think you're going to be happy with it. So, you can, I suppose you can add in a limit, no greater than, but again, I don't know that it's going to matter ultimately.
Mr. Chair.
Mr.
I
Goodwin.
agree with you. I don't know that it'll have any teeth, but if we take the communication towers into account and we set some sort of limit, it's amazing how many come in at 1 foot under the 200-foot limit.
I agree with you there, but I think they did that to avoid lighting them. They don't want to put FAA lights on them.
I know that.
Yeah, yeah. But, I mean, if you want to cap it at 500, that's fine. Any other comments?
Mr. Chair, at that point, it's just a suggestion, because they're gonna do what they wanna do anyway.
Yep.
Understand,
500
understand.
is almost like an admission of guilt, but anyway. Thank you.
There's a negative repercussion to that I didn't think of, please.
Probably not.
If it does appear as an invite when presented that way, that's a very good thought to consider.
Agree to none. But anyway.
Any other comments? Then the chair would entertain a motion to add this to the agenda at the next meeting.
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion to add this as a public hearing at the May meeting. Any further discussion? Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Painting?
Yes.
Mr. Justiceway?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Percy?
Yes.
One point of clarification, just if I could get you all's approval, I would like to co-advertise this so we could have it at you all's May meeting and potentially the board's second May meeting, but that would mean that we would need to start advertising the day of y'all's meeting. If you all would be okay with that, you don't need to say if it would be approved or denied, but as long as you all believe that an action would be taken up or down for this item at the May meeting, I would just like to co-advertise to get it to the board as soon as possible, if there's no objection.
Very well. Then would we have a motion in that regard as well, or are you good to go?
No objection works
No
just fine
objection.
for me.
Very good. Then please continue.
The next item that we have before you is an amendment to the zoning ordinance. So we already do have an electric transmission facility CUP requirement. What we did is, like I said, staff had developed these for all the localities that came for the regional meeting. So this is one that is a little bit stronger. This is not an amendment to the zoning ordinance, so I don't have strike-throughs or anything like that. But if you all like certain items on this and would like us to amend the zoning ordinance to be something very similar to this, we will be happy to do that. But since this was presented to that regional group, I wanted to make sure Planning Commission was also aware of it. This has also been vetted. So it has been the recommendation, the comprehensive plan is probably the stronger item for what is the current situation, but the conditional use permit also has its benefits in the long run. So if you all are interested in this, happy to amend our CUP zoning ordinance to reflect something closer to this.
Mr. Chair, question.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to go through this or if you were, but we can,
If
we can
you all
go
would like,
on
we
with
can.
discussion.
Yeah,
Mr.
that's,
Goodwin.
my question is, does this interfere with your advertising concept if we take this up at the next meeting, have time to review it?
I would like to expedite the comp plan, which we already did.
Right.
The CUP, I think we could take some additional time if you all would like.
I'd just like to be able to look at it a little bit, and if I've got any questions, give you a call or whatever, rather than rush it through tonight.
The only item that I will mention is that in item B, applicability, it does have a conditional use permit shall be required for all associated substations, switching stations, and related infrastructure for electric transmission lines operating at 115 kV or greater. And it says this section shall apply to new transmission facilities, expansions or modifications of existing facilities that materially increase capacity or footprint. I have had a question, can we require the transmission lines get a CUP? And the answer is no. There is a state code section, it's 5646.1, that the FCC can approve the transmission lines, and that would be deemed to satisfy the requirements of section 15.2 2232, which is the 2232 review for the comprehensive plan, and local zoning ordinances with respect to such transmission lines. So state code already says the SEC is the one that gets to pick the transmission lines and approve them, and if they do, that already is going to satisfy the local government's 2232 review, which is the review with the comprehensive plan, as well as any local ordinances. So that's why it is all of the substation, switching stations, and related infrastructure, but the lines themselves and those poles are not something that is mentioned in the CUP. But I just wanted to make sure that that was expressed, because that was, I had it included in there and was told that it was illegal, so I had to take it out.
Mr. Kuhn, under item B, applicability 1, CUP shall be required for, I would request that you reduce that from 115 kV or greater to 69 kV or greater. It's unlikely that a 69 kV line would be recognized different than a standard distribution line, but if you have some industrial area being fed, you might have to get out of a substation nearby at 69 kV and go to that area. So that would be different than just getting residential, or I shouldn't say residential, distribution for residential, which can be what we all see, the regular poles we all see, or even undergrounding now, is a lot of it's being done. But 69 kV would look more like, or be more like, what we're trying to deal with here. So it just, it's about as low as you can go and still capture everything. So that would capture it all. If you could check on that, please. And the other item under F, visual and design standards. First item is good structures shall utilize non-reflective materials. Second item says pole color and finish shall be selected to minimize visual contrast with surrounding environment. Poles typically are either wooden or steel, and you're going to find poles up to generally distribution level 19.2 kV. You might get to 69 kV with a pole. They used to put 115 kV on pole structures. We still have some 230 kV pole structures in the county, but they were replaced in orange on the Gordonsville line when they upgraded that. So we don't generally, at the voltages we're really worried about, we generally don't see poles anymore. They're steel structures. So I would replace the word pole there with structure, and structure would be a more general term to include pole or any of the other kinds of structures that you might see. And that's, it's a minor point, but I think that would cover everything, as opposed to someone coming in with an application saying, well, we don't use poles at that level, so we don't have to do that.
Yes, sir.
It would broaden it that way. Those were my only comments at this time. But if the commission wants to take more time to look at it, then that's fine. So we're good on that. Any other comments right now? All right. I guess we'll take this up in the May meeting.
Yeah, do we want to hold the CUP as just a unfinished business discussion item to take action to put it on the June public hearing?
It sounds like that's where we are now, unless the commissioners want to go ahead and take it in this format for public hearing and then have comments in June to adjust it. I'm sorry, in May to adjust it during the public hearing process.
We do expect that work session in May would be to primarily discuss these two items, and then the slowing residential growth as well. So we do intend to have a work session to discuss at least these three items at the work session.
Chair, couldn't we discuss it at the work session and take it up for business at the regular?
We can if we vote to put it on the agenda now.
That gives our comments maximum time to be considered before it goes to the board, rather than try to rush it the same month. He's saying June.
Okay, I misunderstood what you said. You were asking, I
Asking
understood
at
you.
the May
Ask
meeting.
again.
Couldn't we take it up to the May working session and address it in a public hearing at the regular meeting in May?
We can if we vote now to put it, to
Correct.
advertise it. Yes,
Okay.
we can, and that
Okay.
would be good.
And still keep on within your time and advertising concept.
Yes.
Very well. Then the chair would entertain a motion to add this to the agenda of the May meeting.
Mr. Chair, I have a motion. I move that we consider the amendment to zoning ordinance as it applies to electric transmission facilities conditional use permit as a topic at our work session for the May meeting, and to address it as a public hearing at our regular session in May.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any other comments? Ms. Johnson?
Mr. Hicks?
Yes.
Mr. Painting?
Yes.
Mr. Justisworth?
Yes.
Mr. Dickerson?
Yes.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Mr. Goodwin?
Yes.
Mr. Percy?
Yes.
Very well. And that's added to the meeting in May. Very good.
The last item that we had was on Monday night. The Board of Supervisors referred campgrounds
Yes.
to the Planning Commission. Just so you all are aware, there's a lot of individuals that are wanting to apply for campgrounds to utilize campers and RVs for people to stay on the property for long-term residences, and that wasn't the original intent of the ordinance.
Right.
So that's, the reference has come to the Planning Commission to review, and staff has been working on some of those items based on what we're hearing and what the original intent was, and we plan on emailing that out. Well, I guess not later this week, because that'd be tomorrow. So probably early next week.
All right, so that would be something we would take up as at least in the work session in May.
Pending availability of time. I think we've got some priorities that would probably want to take precedent.
All right, but you're not looking for anything outside of the work session in May?
Not as of right now.
All right.
We plan on sending the documentation with some proposed edits, and then we can always add it as a discussion item for the work session. But we know that it would require a public hearing, but I don't think we're ready for that at this time.
All right. Very
Mr.
good.
Chair.
Mr. Goodwin?
With respect to that, and I don't know, you will know more about this than anybody on the commission probably, is there some time when there are planned activities at North Anna that we want to get something in place before contracts are signed and that sort of thing, to give us some sense of urgency?
There are scheduled events at North Anna that require a lot of people come in. Yeah, that we have outages and that sort of thing, planned and unplanned, but the planned ones be concerned about. The specific dates for planned outages are not public information, even though they get out. But they're
Okay.
not public information.
I was just trying to keep people from unnecessarily establishing and signing contracts and things and then
I understand. I do not know if there's a planned spring outage this year at North Anna, but we are in April, and if there was a planned spring outage, they'd already be here.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna worry about that.
okay. I just,
Yeah,
that's where my mind went. I
the
don't want to
fall
put
outage would
citizens
be
in
the
a,
earliest.
no, I don't want people to be put in a blender and chopped up over this.
Understand.
Although I agree it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, good. All right, anything else? Thank you, Mr. Coon. Next up is discussion items and reports. I'm going to put them together. Ms. Buckler, do we have any discussion items or reports for the month?
Just a couple of updates. So for next month, there are 5 agricultural and forestal district applications that will be coming to you all.
Bring them on.
Along with the 2 new public hearings that you just added. Of course, we'll have the work session on the growth management items, the comp plan amendment, the conditional use permit amendment, and campgrounds if we get to it. At the board meeting on Monday night, the board did approve the Ware's Crossroads PUD with a couple of slight changes to a couple of the conditions for hours of operation. But the rest of the items went forward as recommended by the Planning Commission. And the last agricultural and forestal district applications were also approved.
Good.
And that's all I have.
Very good. Any questions for Ms. Buckler? Very well. Then, with no further announcements, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. We are adjourned.
We need to put the brakes on Brakeland.